If you intentionally clicked on this video about climate change, first of all, thank you. If you did it by mistake, don't go anywhere. It's really important, and we're gonna try to make it fun if possible. But the news is pretty dark because more information has come out from the UN as of this week that says some of our darkest fears about the pace of change in the climate, they might have actually not been aggressive enough, the predictions. So here's what they're saying. The UN warned that there's a 70% chance that average warming over the next 4 years will exceed that benchmark you've probably heard many times, the 1.5 degrees Celsius that we wanna cap climate change at. They believe that there is a better than 50-50 chance that that's gonna happen just in the next 4 years. Not 20 years from now, not 100 years from now, not hypothetically, almost certainly in time for the Olympics, basically. That's the fear. They forecasted that the global mean near surface temperature for each year over the next 4 years will likely be between 1.2 degrees Celsius and 1.9 degrees, which is a very large range, and it very much matters which of those it ends up being. And again, that's not decades from now. That's like when the next season of The Last of Us comes out, we're gonna be in the thick of that, okay? And they say, although exceptionally unlikely at 1%, there's now an above zero chance for the first time ever that at least one of those 5 years will exceed 2 degrees Celsius of warming, which is absolutely wild in a way that I will leave it to the scientists to explain. But for a very long time, what they've been saying is we need to do everything we can to keep it to 1.5 degrees or less. And somehow, despite us doing nothing, we haven't accomplished that goal. I mean, year after year, we've done basically nothing. How could we have failed like this? I don't understand it. And it matters. 1.5 degrees Celsius, it's abstract when you think about it over the course of like a year, of course, the whole planet. But it really matters, and it doesn't mean that everywhere is 1.5 degrees hotter. It means some areas are the same temperature or even colder, and some are way more than 1.5 degrees hotter. You have wild consequential swings that lead to things like more intense heat waves, extreme precipitation, as well as extreme droughts in other areas, as well as obviously the melting of ice caps, sea ice, and glaciers. And we'll get more into that in a sec, but Sharon, it's dark, but what do you think?
And it's here, it's dark and it's here. And to people who weren't, up on this whole environment, warming, whatever you want to call it, thing that affects us every day. And there's so many little things that we could just make little adjustments. Now we need to make big adjustments. And it's not gonna happen under this guy in Washington. I never could understand though why the politicians who were so married to the past and fossil fuels and all this kind of stuff. You can make a ton of money out of saving the planet too. Really doing it the right way. If that's where your heart is, that's where you're greedy, God bless you, whatever. You could still take your money and do good because no one's gonna survive this. Red, blue, no one is going to survive if we don't get a handle on this. But the fact that you started out by saying it's worse than even the red flags that were being raised, which were pretty dark, it's just crazy to me. It's here.
Yeah, I love like apocalypse movies and stuff like that. These like great threats, massive spaceships over LA or whatever. And like, how are we gonna defeat it? This is just, starting 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, we could have done subtle things. And they likely would have become fabulously wealthy off of that, but it's hard. So why do it? It's more difficult. And maybe other people would get rich, not them. And they can't, maybe they would only be billionaires, not 100 billion. Like that is why we failed at the end of the day. It's so laughable. It's so pathetic. We didn't try super hard and it didn't work and an asteroid hit Earth. It's not like those movies I enjoyed so much in the 90s. It's just we as a society, I don't mean us individually. It's not our viewers that did this. Many of them probably do all the individual level stuff that we're told is actually make or break and it isn't. We were failed by pathetic elites who didn't care. I won't go off on this because apparently it doesn't matter. But anyway, Naomi Klein has been talking about how the particular type of fascism that we're experiencing on the right now is what she calls end times fascism, which is a fascism which like presupposes that the world's done basically. So let's just get for ourselves as much as we can with the time we have, and they've given up on the world. And it really does feel like that. You cannot send us into this without fundamentally not caring about what happens after you're gone, not caring about your kids and your kids' kids in the same way. I'm sure on some level they think they have affection for their kids, but you don't send them into Mad Max if you actually love or care about them. Or maybe they think it doesn't matter. Maybe they think they'll be the ones on the top of the plateau. They'll have the rooftop farms and stuff. They won't be the peasants on the lower level. They'll be the ones opening up the tap of water. I don't know. But this is not sane stuff. We are governed by people with addictions to money, psychopaths addicted to money, and they have potentially doomed us all. Final thoughts?
They know that there's something that we can do about it, because these same people who said, oh, it's all a lie and don't believe it, kids. And then the others who said, oh, there's nothing you can do about it. These are the same people who also believe that you can control the weather in red states. And that's what people are doing. So, they know it's real. I just think they don't care. And maybe they just think somebody else will solve it. Who cares? Somebody else will figure it out. It always works out. Because maybe it always works out in their world.
And that's a particular form of the pathetic thing I'm talking about, is apathy. Apathy. And again, if a regular person is apathetic, I understand it. Like, you don't think that you can deal with it individually, and you probably can't, but these are the decision makers. They could have, and they chose not to. They chose in many cases to actually accelerate the process. Trump is doing that in a million different ways. He's not just not solving the problem, he's making it actively worse. And these are the people that unfortunately we have given political power to. And so we could go, I had a whole section that was gonna be about the ice cap collapse and the 230 million people that are gonna have to be displaced as a result of that. We'll cover that as it happens, if media still exists, if the internet still exists, but that'll have to be it for now. Hopefully, whatever can be done to mitigate it at least a little bit will continue to be done.